Bid you hello and welcome to our fair channel. We players are not available at the moment. We are currently setting up stream and adding production value. As proof of this, I, Sep, am talking to you from the past. Yes, this is a recording and I am probably doing something unspeakable at this very moment. But enough chit-chat. I only said all this to give the stream time to actually start and the people a chance to come in. Now, as in the movies, enjoy the pre-movie commercials.
Roll initiative. Yep. Meepo in big trouble. Big doo-doo. The great dragon was Tandle. Big doo-doo.
So, would you say this is a big danger, what you're hearing?
I mean, if they fuck me on my tips, I'm bringing them to that town.
Did you say tips or something else?
Tips.
No tips.
Okay, cool.
It depends on the gender of the person I'm guiding.
So,
Fuck me
yeah,
on my
you
tits.
expose them to the blacksmith, I see.
Alright, so that was Windswept with Wanderer. They got some cool music, and hi, I'm Shump. I do podcasts now. Fuck it. Windswept, Lake of Light. Okay, so I think this is cool. I guess you've been waiting long enough. Just gotta figure out what knob to turn, because this is all new to me. That one goes... Oh, yeah, it goes down. It goes down. Cool. Alright, I guess... Roll the show, then. Goodbye.
so people can see us and speak to us. Because apparently things are taking a while with the others.
Why not just go to the Mediterranean? It's like much closer.
I don't know.
Hello.
We don't have a real plan. Started talking about it. We made some outlines basically on how it would be possible.
I would advise you to start with something along the shore until you get used to sailing
Fuck that shit.
international waters.
Yeah, okay, sailing international waters. Sure. That's gonna
Yeah,
take some time.
Yeah. Because I mean, even my brother and my cousin who have done the license, the international waters license, it is kind of weird once you go out there. So they normally go with more than one skipper that knows how to sail it. Because once you're out there, there's no one to help you. You don't know your way back, you're fucked. Because once you're in international waters, you're normally away from any land.
Yeah. It would help to know how to navigate then.
Yeah. I think we come from that way.
Yeah.
The one time where Google Maps isn't as accurate.
Google Maps won't work in that.
Just a black
You
blob.
won't have internet, so it won't work.
Well, the sun is that way.
Fuck, the sun's moving!
Stop moving! I can see Sep going in circles, following the sun.
And it's not even left the North Sea yet.
West!
I can see him doing that as well, and not even having left the North Sea yet.
Yeah.
He's just sailing in circles.
They said it's to the west of here, so...
The fucking Coast Guard finally pick up on, like, just seeing the trail of a circle just kind of wide back and forth and come check on you. Dude, I'm just chasing the sun. The problem is that the sun starts over there and it ends up over there, so I just gotta go that way first and then go that way.
And by the time I get that way, I just get to the start point, which is not ultimate.
I had no idea there were so many islands out in the North Sea. No, this is just a Norwegian coast, sir.
You've been here for quite some time now.
Yeah.
You've literally
We've been seeing you
circled
for-
the same island 12 times.
We've been seeing you for a month already, going down that way, then coming back. What's up?
I could swear I've seen that lighthouse before.
But they all look the same.
God, this world is all the same.
Mm.
It's interesting that the reception stays the same as well.
Yeah, it cuts off at the exact same time every day, and then returns at the same time of night.
1 p.m. cuts off. 4 p.m. back in with reception.
It doesn't even tell me I'm on like a UK mainland network or anything. Nope.
And it keeps welcoming back to Norway.
Probably a bad phone.
It's basically Norway saying, if you never leave.
They made a show called Ghost Wars. Ghost Wars about that one. Exactly the same thing. You can't leave. I don't have any more food. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I quit
Some
smoking.
pizza if you want it.
Ah! I quit smoking again 2 days ago.
Well
You
then,
know, it's not really quitting if it's only for a few days.
Have you ever smoked?
No,
Damn straight is like quitting after a few days.
no. Not by my definition of it. Quitting is quitting.
You should start and then quit and then say that again.
you're
Well,
such
I
a
have
quitter,
just
man.
started and quit. There you go.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a quitter, Sepp.
Yeah, I know. That's why I almost didn't make it now, because I was not at home at 7:30.
Where are you following the sun again?
I
He
was
was
at a girlfriend of
practicing.
mine. Girlfriends of mine.
Mm.
And she was smoking outside. So I was just smelling the air.
Getting that passive smoking, yeah.
No. And then
Exactly.
opposite said, "Oh, I heard there was D&D tonight," and I kind of flipped the fuck out.
Like,
Pulled out and just ran out of there.
I'm just imagining Sep kind of standing there getting a message and then just not even saying goodbye, just running off.
That was almost what happened.
Having met Sepp, I can totally imagine that.
Yeah.
dude,
That is
every
exactly what
Tuesday,
happened.
how the hell do you forget?
There's been a lot of things going on the last few weeks. And now the last couple of days it's been chaotic, basically. Been good though. I'm fucking tired. So I appreciate your warning call.
I don't think it was supposed to be a warning call. I think it was just supposed to be, hey, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
D&D?
Yeah.
But I was still waiting for people though, so that worked out perfectly.
Mm. I mean, I do like how you have completely ignored the fact that both me and Chris hyped this morning.
Yeah.
Just
He
kind
was looking at it and he was just
Just-
like,
completely slipped out of your mind, huh?
Yeah.
no, he was just like looking at it and saying, they're saying something about hyping. Let's go do something else.
Or- It was as a notification on the phone, and then I got a snap, opened the snap, and then forgot all about Discord. That happens a lot.
Yeah, well, I guess that depends on what kind of messages you receive.
I know.
It sounds like a goldfish memory.
No, goldfishes, I envy those motherfuckers.
Yeah, they have good memory.
I know. Impressive memory.
What the fudge?
Did you ruin
Oh,
something?
I see. No. I was wondering how come I still have some things to back up when I thought that I finished backing up stuff.
Be right back.
No. No.
God damn it, I really want to smoke.
No smoking for you. I'm guessing that if you ever come to my place, you will be bored to hell.
No, that's my
I don't
superpower,
smoke, I
actually.
don't-
I would have gotten you into a fucking strip club by the end of the week.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I
How
have
would
a
you
cat
react?
that will kill you. What?
How would you react in a strip club?
Something like I react when I'm drunk to lights. You know, a woe cat, that kind of face.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess.
I think we should do that. We should go to a
Well,
strip club.
You should then come to here.
Yeah, with
Just
you.
try not to when you sail here. Try not to get into Palestine.
I'll try.
Because they shoot
What do you
first,
mean?
ask questions later.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the West Bank is perfectly nice this time of year.
Actually, they have very nice coasts,
Hmm.
though it's kind of full
I mean,
with.
well, I mean, isn't the winter probably the best time for the West Bank, considering that the bombing starts in the summer?
Yeah, you won't notice the difference. I mean, they speak Arab, I speak Hebrew. Who knows? Both languages sound horrible when you listen to them. Why is Chris's camera so high? I feel like I'm looking at the
Because
ceiling.
he has no pants.
That could explain it.
No, he actually showed the pants, so he is currently going as we all should, as they intended.
Is he going to take out his snake?
He kind of already did, though.
Well, I mean, still is in enclosure.
Are we just missing one person?
Hmm.
Yes.
We can see half his forehead. Oh. Oh, we can see more than that. Hello?
Sup, bitches?
What's up?
That's a good entrance. I like it.
Nice.
How was today's lessons?
Did you kill someone?
Or
They
something?
were informative and very bloody. You could hear some of the people cringe.
Did someone die?
Nice.
No?
Okay.
No, I still have sound from my speakers. This is weird. Test.
Taste test.
Answer.
Anyways, yeah. Well, today's session, of course, should be bloody because it was about.
Blood.
Help me out here, Sepp.
Slakting.
Etosök.
Etosök?
No, the butchering is next session.
Oh,
Well,
the
Etosök?
slaughtering.
No, slaughtering, butchering is next session. The thing is, when you hunt mostly small game and certain species of large game, just because you get a killing shot and they will die very rapidly doesn't mean they won't get like 150 meters before you find.
Tracking.
Yes, tracking, post-hit tracking.
Hmm.
Finding out what kinds of hits you've made, if you have a hit, if it's okay to let the animal go, but that's not really up to you. And then you have to alert the local tracking union to have them come and confirm if you can't find it, and then determine if it's badly enough injured that they will have to spend the next few days tracking it and will hate you for it.
Sounds nice.
So don't roll low on your survival check.
Basically.
Well, if you get to that point, you've already rolled low on the one part that really matters, which is your shooting skills and judgment. When it comes to hunting
that's
in
pretty
Norway,
normal, isn't it? At least.
nope.
No, there's an easy fix for that. I mean, they should assign a hunter for those that miss to just hunt that person. And then
No.
it's fixed.
The thing is, just because you get a good hit on the animal, you will still sometimes, because animals have adrenaline, they can still surprise. And in Norway, the hunting mentality is, if you're not sure about the shot you're about to make at all, don't make it. I
Sounds
think
logical.
the angle the animal is holding is slightly off to you. Okay, just let it go. Sure, you spent probably an entire day tracking and waiting for that animal. Let it go. As Elsa said,
Let it go. Let it go.
fuck it all. Fuck it all. Can't
Is there
handle
a
this
second
shit
edition?
anymore. Oh yeah, there is a fuck it all edition.
Yep.
Ah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I brought beer and s'mores.
Now the real question becomes, I have a choice next week. Will I take the exam on a Tuesday or a Thursday? The thing is, the exam starts at 6, but people don't start, all at the same time because it's 4 people at a time. Some people do it in 10 minutes. As it is, back in school when you had like, okay, this entire day is set off for this one exam. You can leave when you feel you're done. And there's always those fucksticks that leave at like 1 hour, and then there's the people that spend the entire day at school just going over every single answer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the same thing here, because if you fail the test, you need to pay to retake it, you need to schedule an appointment, and if you fail it 3 times in a row, then you have to retake the entire class.
So no pressure.
And we're triple the amount of hunters that they're used to handling. Because previous years, they've had 18 to 19 people every year consistently. And this year, they're going to be facing 43.
Damn.
And they still have no idea why there's so many this year. Because the trend in Norway has been a very long-term, slow, steady decline. Also, I think Tio died in that posture. See, he's not moving. He's not even blinking. That cough or sneeze killed him and the internet nearby.
He muted, and everything just exploded around him.
When he turns the camera back on, there's blood and guts everywhere. Half his face is missing. And he'll just say, so, D&D.
There's a stump from his elbow. It's literally just his elbow up from where he blew his arm off. Give me a Torm.
There you go, Torm. You can enjoy now.
Let's see. Oh, he disconnected.
Yeah, he blew up the internet.
Give it up. Give it up.
The worst part is the parody is amazingly good.
Yep.
Did he just die? He's just literally gone?
Oh, and Sep.
Hmm?
This is fucking delicious.
I never drank that much iced coffee, but I want to try.
Iced coffee in general is pretty good in Norway, especially this brand. They have really decent iced coffee, but this one is a brand new one, and it's like I looked at it. Why the fuck would you make that? But I'll try it anyways. Okay, hazelnut.
Hazelnut?
Like I've heard of like caramel
Hazelnut.
and mocha and that.
I'm
Oh
allergic
yeah,
to
you
nuts.
have mocha and you have like
The caramel latte and
what's
all
the-
that.
yeah, I mean caramel and latte and all that usual. You also have affogato, and that is fucking amazing. You can easily make a better affogato yourself by taking a cup of black coffee and then a scoop of regular vanilla ice cream and dumping it in, but that is pretty good too. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Hello.
We are basically at banter end level in stream.
We are. So
Mhm.
technically, that little hitch there with my internet was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
For once.
Time to pop out that character sheet.
Good idea.
So, do I bother popping out the 8 character sheets that I have and aligning them and moving them around and preparing them for rapid opening like I've done the last 3 times without having to use a single one of them?
We are in a town, so
You have been fairly good at skirting encounters.
Damn it. I'm almost out. It's horrible.
I
Just-
went with the
just
plus 2
switch
to
to
Dex,
hot
by
sauce.
the way.
Come again?
I went with the plus 2 to Dex.
It's going to be amazing when you're hitting people with your swords.
Yep. That extra plus 1 to Dex. Yes.
Yes, with your strength modifier based swords.
Finesse.
Well, which ones of them are finesse weapons?
Doesn't matter, he's got the dual wielder feat.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually not that bad at it. I just hope he set the correct stat to things.
Yeah, one would hope.
Attack stat for the dual wielded swords. The bow that turns into swords is set to finesse. The bow is set to Dex, and Merthurial is set to strength because it was strength.
Is it?
Pretty sure it is.
Is it a one-handed or is it a two-handed or is it the optional two-handed?
One-handed longsword.
As long as you use it in one hand and dual wield it, you have the feat. But as the second you take that weapon with 2 hands, it becomes no longer affected by that feat.
Mm-hmm.
So don't attach the second hand. Hold the second hand away. When your hand seems to be going towards it, just stop it. Just hold it back.
Speaking of a hands-off approach, did Liam say how long he's going to be?
Well, he finished at 7, he said, so...
Yeah, so usually he is here by this point, but since he isn't.
Yeah, I think I used the player's handbook stuff for the Merthurial longsword stats. plus the bonuses from the sheet for it.
Yep.
So it should be strength.
Under
That's
normal
what it
circumstances, yes.
is. Yes.
With the feet, that's a different.
What would it be with the feet?
So, Chris, I could haste my tiny servant.
Oh, God.
Opposite. You can use 2-weapon fighting even when the one-handed melee weapons you are wielding aren't alight. You get there's also the AC shit, and there's the stowing shit. Oh, it doesn't make it finesse. Ha! I was wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't make it a finesse weapon. It just
Well, it
means-
doesn't make it it makes your. I thought it makes your approach it to it a finesse weapon.
Give up.
They had onion on
Give
this.
up.
Yeah, it still takes the weapon stuff from the actual sheet, but
Mhm.
treats it like a finesse. Hence why I was dual wielding that in Skillbreaker.
Call breaker.
So I hope you guys have been clever about the use of time and done the recap and everything before I arrived.
Nope.
Nope.
No, we don't do recaps.
What is a recap?
It's a cap that you reattach to the cap.
Woohoo! So it's a reusable cap.
Yes, exactly.
Give up. Give up. La da dee.
Yeah, so the dual wielder
Feet.
doesn't make the make strength based weapons finesse, but it allows you to dual wield weapons that aren't light.
Yep.
So when will we get a Titan's grip feat?
What?
Titan's grip. When your character would most likely have to have 18 plus strength and be a medium or bigger creature, and allows you to wield 2-handed weapons, one in each hand.
I don't know.
That would be ridiculous.
It would be
And
amazing.
hilarious.
But
Ask Meryl.
given the right, like, you have some feats have prerequisites. Given the right ones, I can see how that would equal out somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would need.
A wizard with that.
What the name is it? Great Weapon Fighter as a prerequisite feat. Is it Great Weapon? Alright, I've still got that open. Never mind.
Great Weapon Master.
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 The weapon of
Master.
great masters. Fuhipu. Fuhipu topu yopukaku.
Torm, are you alright?
Was I ever?
Ow!
Forget I asked.
Was
You
it
could
master?
ask, was that premonition that I knew you were going to hit your head on the map? That's not an answer.
What else?
You died.
Prerequisite feat for that.
No, I'm alive. I found something under my bed.
Dual Wielder, Great Weapon Master.
What did I find? What is this?
I found something tastier.
Oh, food isn't what I was seeking. Who is this?
Sep, why are you laughing?
Ooh! It was my
I don't know.
original,
Why am I laughing?
my original first time that I got out of the army card. Ooh, nice.
Is it just a note that says "Congrats, you survived"?
No, it's a note that says that you may go home for the first time.
You have permission to leave.
Yep, that's basically what it says. If you don't
Then
have
I
it,
give
then
you my permission to die, soldier.
if you don't have it, then the military police can arrest you. Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I still
think the
have
only
my
two.
calling card, originally,
have
the
those
original one that I
permissions,
got. Never used it.
Yeah, Chris, I think the two only real prerequisites for a Titan grip feat would be Dual Wielder and Great Weapon Master.
And not to be good.
I can see that. That would push push it into the mid game. That should make it also feasible to even have such expensive weaponry.
Yeah.
And give the character some time to practice those skills and get to the point where it's actually possible to achieve.
Yep. Especially if you're like human variant and you get that early Dual Wielder feat.
Dual wielder, tasty.
Yeah. The prerequisite also takes away any possibility of getting like what is it, Belt of Giant Strength?
Well, you might
And
want to
then
consider
if you-
having a strength requirement, but at the same time, dual wielding certain weapons is already almost the same weight. There isn't much weight difference book-wise, except for the like. This is basically a slab of metal with in
Whoa.
Great Maul case.
The
Yeah, that
only
would be kind of
problem-
ridiculous.
The only problem I see with this is the fact that I can hear Scalagrim. I can hear Scalagrim yelling about how it's not feasible. Why would you
Well-
want to wield heavy swords?
Yeah, but that's from a. He always does it from a realistic point, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate those. Though he has admitted that certain amounts of dual wielding, while feasible, it's also extremely difficult because people struggle to get the mindset of attacking and defending at the same second. Because that requires some extreme forethought. So he might even advocate that if you are going to dual wield at all, there should be an intelligence requirement to it.
And the dex requirement to it as well.
Dex is one thing, but
Yeah, so you don't slice open your wrist.
yeah, you need the foresight to at the same time see where the enemy is going to attack and plan your counterattack in the same moment.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
blink of an eye too.
My original glasses made it until today.
So it's not even necessarily intelligence; it's more wisdom.
Wisdom is from experience, so intuition I think is probably more common because
Intelligence?
we're not just fighting like humanoids that have predictable fighting patterns. So it doesn't wisdom and experience doesn't help you as much as good intuition.
Mm,
The intuition
but
that
I mean, intuition, at least in mechanical terms, does go more under wisdom. Mechanics treat intelligence in a very book smart sort of way for the most part.
Well, also to figure out riddles and such.
Yeah, like pattern
Mhm.
and seeing patterns, that sort of stuff. But I mean, this group is the wrong one to discuss puzzles with.
Hey, I solved one.
Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah.
While the others had absolutely nothing to contribute.
Well, they were there.
Yeah, they were there.
We were here for emotional support.
I caught
Yeah.
the scent or the ass end of one of Torm's riddles. I just haven't solved it yet because I'm the only one that found it.
Yeah.
The wet skin humanoids.
You,
No,
you
yeah, that.
actually, yeah. Well, but that was not a riddle so much as it was a hint.
To see who would catch on.
Well, I mean, eventually you would catch on because it would hit you in the face, but yeah.
With a wet thwack.
Twack. Who the hell?
I believe a Schlorp is probably better.
Slurp. Slurp. Slurp.
Torm, are you so bored that you're cleaning your room?
No, I cleaned the room this afternoon and now I'm trying to figure out what I did.
You put
Yeah,
all
that's
the
usually
important
sounds about
things. Put all the important things in a nice and smart place that you're now too stupid to remember.
No, my desk is like half empty now and I'm trying to figure out where the hell did I put half the stuff. I'm not used to arranging my room. When it's not arranged, I know where it is. Now when I arranged it, I have no clue where everything is. That's why you don't arrange a room. Makes no sense.
Hey,
You used to
Organized
have-
chaos.
You used to have a system in your chaos, now there's chaos in your system.
Yeah.
Hey, Sep, did you see the cool gift that I sent into the Bedroll chat a while ago?
Chat? What heresy is this?
How'd you like that?
It was nice. It was very interesting and hypnotizing, almost mesmerizing.
It just goes on and on
Yeah.
and on.
Does
was
this
very
hard drive
interesting.
work still?
And I'm surprised I had to explain the joke of the British interview to Leon. Out of all people, I'm
not
expecting him to
surprised
get
at
that
all.
one.
I'm not surprised at all.
But that's okay. I mean, Opposite got it, right? Or is he just pretending not to?
I got it. I was like listening closely to it at first because like, what? What is he saying? And then there was just the dry cleaning bit. Then I was like, fucking hell.
Well, I mean, it is an important consideration after all that beating off. Anyways, I'm just passing time while I eat so I can actually be useful. But if you guys want to start, go ahead.
I want a hamburger or pizza or something food.
Oh, I have some pizza in my fridge.
I hate you.
I could order pizza.
I ate like half, no, actually a whole packet of crisp bread.
That's
How's that?
at least
make
you have your fiber.
Yeah. Still
That's
hungry.
gonna come out in one solid nugget.
I had some rice and veggies in the middle of that actually.
Rice won't help you against it.
You know what you should get?
What?
More rice.
A pizza with shrimp and mushrooms on it. Oh, why did
Pizza
we
would be
order
nice.
that?
Nicely fresh.
Did we order
baked
that? I thought we
pizza.
had onion rings and fries on it.
Yeah, that was on the Sunday, I think.
Oh yeah, we had
But
another one too. Yeah.
On Friday.
It was a good
We had
pizza.
some
Hello?
mushroom.
It was nice.
Orange Man is here.
Oops, okay. Hello, Liam.
Alright.
Hey man.
No, it's Orange Man. Don't change his name.
Alright, guys, sorry to keep you waiting.
No worries.
We weren't weren't waiting. We were talking.
Did you run into any trouble on the way home? Did you have to beat off any strangers?
No.
Did you
just
have to burn anyone?
Just needed to have a shower when I got home.
You didn't want to burn someone?
For a moment, I was considering that you had like maybe 0.5 millimeter of snow and the roads were just too slippery to drive.
Come now. No, I got home like about 15 minutes ago.
And then you ignored us for 15 minutes. You just said, nah. Nah, I'm not going to give them my attention.
Here I'm giving it my all. I literally come in the door, put my clothes away, and sit down, and I'm here with you guys. You had 15 minutes? You had a 15-minute shower? That's like a spa experience for me.
It's not a competition.
No, I'm not upset. I'm just very disappointed.
Steph is going to be living in a boat and he has no idea how much time it actually takes to sail from Europe to the Caribbean. So
You're sailing to the Caribbean? Oh dear God.
Go horribly
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna live on this boat. I'm gonna be in the Caribbean and
Well, yeah,
bouncing
but we
around.
might as well just buy the boat in the Caribbean. We've been living in the sailboat now for a week. So the boat is
And
at the
freaking-
docks, but
Is this part of your business, or?
it's gonna be after a while. But right now it's impossible.
And he actually
Yes,
said that
because
he
you're
will
not.
just follow the coastline.
To the Caribbean.
Oh dear God.
That will go very well.
So it was nice knowing you, Sap. You
No,
know.
but Spain is the first stop. Caribbean is like advanced. And
So, how
Go to
many
Spain.
years hiatus should we put the show on?
I'm not sure.
Or do you plan to do streaming via satellite?
No, yeah, I've heard about the cost on that, so there's
I
gonna
can't
be some
wait
planning.
for the messages like a year from now when it actually all like happens, or like even like what 6 months from now maybe, just a sudden message in the Banterol Discord saying, "Oh shit, we just docked at this place. It's really nice, but they have no internet."
I really hope that you plan to arm yourself on this trip.
Actually, no.
Because
We even
pirates
had a-
are still...
We even had a welcoming committee. They came up beside the boat with AK-47s.
But there's not going to be that much pillaging and raging in Spain.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Interesting. I mean, that's the action of the trip too covered. Gotta have to mount cameras all over the ship and just make awesome YouTube content.
Yeah,
Well, I guess that's one way.
Upload them every 6 months when you find internet.
Yes,
my God.
make yourself an even bigger target for poor people who row out to kill you.
Mm. Sounds like might have a movie.
You have to remember that not every country is as well off as the ones you're used to.
Oh yeah.
There are people that will swim out and try to kill you just to get your stuff, to live.
See,
You will go past for those people.
I hear the Horn of Africa is nice this time of year.
Oh
Yeah.
dear God. Don't give him ideas.
I want to do a fucking like all over the
And
place.
there's still some remote islands in Oceania that you should visit too.
Yeah.
where
Yeah, I
they
heard
come
about
in
that one
port
place.
canoes.
You mean the place where the castaway took place?
Or where the cannibals still live.
Yeah, where the Christian guy that went
Yeah.
into them to Christian them.
Fucking idiot.
They quickly found out they were not interested in.
They were
learning
not
new-
susceptible for Christ.
But
I
they
mean,
seemed very
would've-
appreciative that
you
he came
would've-
for dinner.
Yeah.
You would have thought that they would be all into the whole like body of Christ thing.
Right? Instead, they got the body of Bob.
They
Oh,
probably
no.
weren't too happy when there was all this talk of eating the body of Christ and drinking his, and then it's just wine and crackers.
Yeah.
That's gonna put a downer. Anyway. Now that we had the casual racism out of the way.
Let's
get
commence
in-
with the in-character racism.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's get into D&D.
D&D.
It's D&D.
D&D.
So,
Yes, my dear.
you have last session arrived on the outskirts of the town of Yartar. And despite its name, it is not a place of pirates.
Yartar.
Which is very surprising considering they seem to have all these waterways available.
Yes. And this is the realm of the water barons of
I
Yartar.
have to ask though, is this ship stuck?
Yes.
Good.
It is stuck in limbo.
Also
Forever in limbo.
Yes. The first thing you see as you reach the outskirts of town is this large,
numbers.
yes, this glowing,
Enough of buildings, just the glowing numbers.
Glowing
This is number
iron.
19.
numbers.
A giant glowing one in the building near us.
Yeah. You see a small keep on this side of the river, with a large circular tower extending upward and overlooking the area. Attached to this building, like off to the side, there is a like a small harbor, which has been covered off at the top by this large ceiling structure.
How are the walls of this place?
The keep or
No,
City.
the city.
city, the city has these fairly sizable, well defensible stone walls around it.
So I have to ask one question. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Did this one not get the memo about the wall?
That's good. That could be a god tower.
It could be, but there's none other. That's the only one.
Well,
As
it could
in-
be the
and
main
he's
gate
nowhere
or something.
near
You don't
the-
know.
And he's nowhere near the
That-
gate.
I mean,
It's
there
the
are
docks
several
gate.
buildings attached to the wall.
That's it. That's the
That's where all those big freight trucks go. You know, when I don't want them cluttering up the main city, so they send them to the side somewhere.
Alright. That was my question.
So, when you say that they're not pirates, that they are
They are
the
not
water
pirates.
baron linked here, what goes into that definition? Because there's not a whole lot of difference between them sometimes. Are these...
So, the previous water baron who died it would have been 4 years ago.
Years.
Actually, 5 years ago now. The previous water baron was known to be kind of a rogue, let's put it that way. He was known to be involved with some certain criminal elements, which ended up with him being actually beheaded in his very own throne room. However, the current Water Baron, Water Baron Bellathy Caldorna, is very different from that. She has been
Alive.
trying to root out the criminal element from the city, and has been doing it with justice and fairness, as far as you've heard, but also, when necessary, with an iron fist.
So it's definitely a lawful, leaning towards good, but also ruthless, lawful society.
Yes. It is fairly generally known that Water Baron Caldorna was trained and schooled in Neverwinter, as a matter of fact.
That's gonna go well.
We should stay here.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Fairly defensible. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
trade routes.
Common place to find adventuring band forming, which means there's work for them, which means there's work for us. And
Plenty
it's
of
not
buildings
like,
to burn down.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
There's
like
no
we have-
dragons here, Tio, okay? There's no dragons here.
What do you know about that? Hmm?
How do you know?
Was a half dragon.
Well, true.
Halfway
Although I don't
there.
think his breath is enough to burn down a city.
Oh,
It really depends on how flammable things are.
yes. Because,
seem to-
fire spreads.
I seem to recall, like, maybe 3 years ago now, running an adventure in a city where a half-orc started a major fire.
No. No. It was not the half-orc. It was the cleric that used burning hands or something.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with
Yeah.
that. I may have started the trouble, but
He
she
was an
added
elf.
to the trouble.
Well, none of you actually, like, reacted to the fire either as it grew.
Hey, I was a half-orc. Why should I bother with some fire? It's over there. I'm over here. I can't exactly punch it away.
In my campaign, they burned 2 forests down.
Oh, yeah, don't worry.
Oh,
we
I
have,
mean- That's Small Fry. The half-orc actually killed a forest by playing a violin, I believe it was.
Oh dear God.
That's where we saw burning owlbears.
no,
Stuff.
no, that was
No,
the
No, that-
sorcerer.
Yeah, no, that was the forest that you actually did burn down.
Yeah, by pelting it with fireballs.
Are there any
Anyway.
broken down things near this nice place? Any items that are broken down that they threw away? Anything that I should know about?
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Sure. Not the background. Not the background. Perception is one of my worst skills. Let's go for it.
Oh, there we go. 13. Along the roadside as you head towards the keep overlooking the approach to the city, you can find, like, discarded items. There are some mugs. There are like rusted utensils, that sort of stuff.
I will do tiny servant on one of the mugs,
Okay,
and then I will tell him, "Follow me."
fantastic.
I will be giving my squad of former TV celebrities the strict orders to
Former.
only defend themselves when given permission. Otherwise, no offensive actions.
I take umbrage to the word former, although it is.
They're in a
Yeah.
unified meaning. Each of them have had limited, interesting experiences going off on their own or making at least the duo, I believe.
I mean, they're on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah.
And
Clarkson is now the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So
Oh, dear God.
yeah, but at the same time, James May has a very interesting YouTube channel where he just dismantles and puts things together again.
yeah,
And it is as slow-paced and dry as you imagine it to be, and that is highly fascinating.
yeah, he's fantastic.
Anyways, they have their orders not to attack unless given permission to defend themselves. Wouldn't want any accidents here.
Here's a thought. You're in a major city full of clerics and whatnot from various different religions. If a cleric passes by and just so happens to be picking up on undead signals, they're screwed, right?
They can't.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot they're resistant to that sort of thing.
If they're going to pick up on anything, it will be physical things like the smell of decay or something. But seeing as how we're adventurers coming in from the wilderness, there's bound to be some foul smells following us, and if we've been unfortunate.
I mean, we're also traveling with 2 guard drakes,
True.
a horse, and
That is true.
dog.
On that note, once we actually start venturing, hell, even from this point on, I would like to know what kind of attention we're garnering.
Sure.
Because one thing is you can expect adventurers to be a bit, bring up some odd things with them.
Yeah.
True. We're not exactly your run-of-the-mill adventurers either.
How so? Because you're the main characters?
Well, no, I'm talking about guard drakes.
A fighter,
mostly the guard drakes.
A fighter who primarily uses a bow.
A
Well,
gnome that has a
Just from the sheer number in our party, even if you disregard how special some of them are, just the sheer number of adventurers in one party is also unusual, isn't it?
Depends on the adventure, really.
Companions
Yeah,
of the Hall are about the same number, outside of the extra companion.
Yeah, but we are our base 5 plus another 4 humanoids. Already like almost 10 people. Which is starting to border into a, what's the term, squad? No, not squad. Platoon? Troop?
Unit? No.
Squad sounds about right. Squad's not really that big.
Yeah, it would be a squad. Platoon is
The
like...
fact of the matter is we are a very big group with some fairly extensive support and logistics along with us in the form of the beasts and the cart and stuff like that.
Mm.
And the horses, or the flickering horse in this case, the doggy,
Yeah.
the weird half-elf. A halfling, I mean.
Yeah.
Passing
Well,
time,
You're
one
definitely
finger
strange.
deep in one nostril with a black glove.
That's gonna end well one of these days. Can you
Well, I
imagine
suppose
that
it's
would
half
be
an
one
elf,
way
huh?
to go? Just disintegrate your own head off.
I mean, that's very unlikely, isn't it?
So,
I mean, this is Sap. I can see him not pulling
True.
something like that off.
True.
Drake,
What?
I know you're all about dead gods and all, but is there a chance I could maybe, mask a bit your appearance?
What about my appearance?
Well, I'd rather not be arrested as we enter.
I do believe it should be pointed out that I don't think he's talking about your physical, albeit you are rather ugly, but still, it's more your mystical appearance.
Yeah.
I am already taking care of it, and I start pulling out some wrapping I've been using to every time I do a town.
That's physical.
That's physical,
appearance.
man. Physical? Non-physical. Non-physical
You
is
know
not
all
what
the-
we can see.
In fact, you do it yourself. You sense for certain things, don't you, at sometimes?
Yes.
And did it not ever occur to you that people could sense the same thing from you?
I usually use my senses to pick up on fiends. And I glare at Silic as I say this. Angels, undead, and the like.
Yes!
Let's just say you have a certain aura to you that might be noticed by some paladins of opposite faiths.
If they're tyrants, I welcome the challenge.
Well, you might be welcoming it. I don't want to be arrested. I have a good reputation to withhold.
Speaking of, don't you think there's some Silic over here, and he points at him, might set off alarm bells, considering...
If he doesn't cast any spells, no.
And also not in the same way. There is a clear distinction between people of religious-based magic, or divine magic as we proper people speak of it, and arcane. You, after all, you are a believer. Silic is
I'm not sure what it
victim.
is.
Well then, what do you propose we do about it?
You don't need to do anything. I will do it on you. Just accept my magic.
Medrash, perhaps you could be of assistance.
He doesn't trust me.
Well, the issue is, Azar, you're thinking of magical aura, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't prepare that this morning, so I can't.
How do you know this will work, considering... And Jake pauses for a moment. My travels.
You just see Madrash pointing to the bunch of undeads in the back, like, do they smell undead to your specially attuned senses? And no, I'm not talking about your nose.
I wasn't talking about that. The place I came from tends to be a little more special than most.
Huh?
That shouldn't
Would
matter.
you be able to mask that?
Use a good perfume. But anyways, about the other thing. Will you allow me to do it on you? I will need to touch you.
Drake just narrows his eyes. Keep your rapier far away from your hands before you approach me.
No, I'm not trying to do it on my rapier. I'm trying to do it on you.
Yes, but I still remember distinctly you stabbing me in the back, so...
It was
Let's
to
not-
give you some inspiration, man.
Sure.
And as I recall it, after that you did hit the enemy.
Just use your magic.
Sure.
I will use Nistel's magical aura. And
Which ones? Which one are you doing? The falsing or the masking?
I will
Because it might be relevant for my own attempts at casting spells on him later.
I will do the masking. So it will seem as though he doesn't have magic.
That's not masking, that's false.
False? Oh, okay. So false, sorry.
Masking is changing it to appear something different.
Slightly meta, but wouldn't masking sort of cover the whole evil aura sort of thing? Or would that be... yeah. So masking might be your best choice.
If you look at the very last word in the description of the spell, because I'm guessing that's what you're
But
trying
are we
to
trying
hide it.
to mask his alignment? But no, we're trying to change the way that people see him.
Yeah, but I've
No.
got a permanent aura ongoing, and that's basically in kind of like an evil aura. So
Yeah, and
I'll use the
also
mask.
the thing is, it's his alignment that is the issue here. It's not everything else is either spell school or the fact that he is a divine caster. Neither of which is neither good or bad. It's just a fact. But the fact that there's a evil
I
alignment.
will change his alignment to neutral. I don't want to.
Since you have
tempt fate.
experience with that yourself.
All right.
No, it's just that he might not behave like a good person, so I don't want to tempt fate.
is there any interference when he tries that?
Not that you notice.
Okay.
Is there any mist forming?
No, no mist.
I'm half tempted to use my other spell. but-
One could say it's a missed chance.
You're really setting us up with a mystery here.
So just sorry, Medrash. Just out of curiosity, is there kind of any? Do I feel any different when you cast this spell? I've never had this spell cast on a character before.
No.
No.
Don't feel anything.
Okay,
You feel the same. Everyone else detects you different.
fair enough. I'll look to the others. Any chance of it checking if it worked?
I don't have that kind of magic.
I can't really detect auras, so
Yeah, the thing this is tricking is primarily against other divine sensors.
I'm gonna go and punch him in the gut.
Who's he punching in the gut?
You.
Oh dear. Okay.
And then after the punch, he's just gonna look at
So-
you and just. Nah, I didn't feel anything different.
So, which hand are you using for this?
Oh, not the badass one, the normal hand.
The normal hand. Okay, you do realize you are punching chainmail, right?
Yeah. Now.
Light mail. Yeah.
I was expecting some armor. I'm checking if your aura has been changed in the Silic way.
Drake just looks down at him. What are you even doing?
Helping. What does it look like I'm doing?
No. It's basically inconsequential, so I'll leave it alone at that. No matter how tempted it is, I'm just gonna leave it alone at that.
He just look at you and just, after a while, turns around. There! You're welcome! And then he just walks off.
Drake just shakes his head. Imbecile.
So, is there some kind of authority we have to pass through to get access to the city, or is it just wide open doors?
It is actually wide open gates, it seems. You see movement on the walls and like past the arrow slits of this tower standing in front of you. But as you round it, you can see that it's just an open gate past a very wide bridge.
So, what would the purpose the shield tower has then? Could we, do we know that it's constructed as a defensive measure, or is it just to serve this private dock?
From previous visits by home, you would be able to tell that it is serving both purposes. It is a defensive measure on this bank of the river, but it is also there to act as a garrison for like the military of Yartar. as well as a spot to harbor the naval vessels, or like the river-going military or armed vessels, as well as the water baron's personal yacht.
So, Holm, have you given any thought to where we might go in this city to find out about these standing stones? Because other than you, I don't think any of us actually have any real business here. I realize SR here probably wants to perform, but that's...
Yes, we should go to an inn.
There are several. You'll probably want to make your rounds. See where you get kicked out first.
Wait, I don't get kicked out. I have plenty.
You don't
of
know
songs.
that yet.
I have never been kicked out.
Are you a mind reader? Can you read the
Actually,
future?
yes.
That is scary.
We already
see the
have
future,
one
but I can
mind leech in
read
the
thoughts.
party. We certainly do not need another.
A what?
A mind leech.
Mind
Him.
leech?
And I point to Silic.
I look at Siddiq and rub my head.
I don't think. No, I don't think so.
I don't think you realize what you're talking about.
I am quite mind leak.
He can't read
Did-
minds. He can just.
Did you
think.
just call yourself a mind leak?
He leaks through his mind.
Oh, he's leaking. I thought he was like, a leak from the field.
That could also be the case.
We've
What
got
is-
enough plants in this party.
What is this leak you speak of?
I don't know, you should check your saddle.
Drake just glares at him.
Hey, he's the one talking about leaks. Anyway, speaking of certain vegetables,
It's like a lettuce leaf, but
I was about to say that.
I know what a leek is. It's kind of like a Welsh fin, but I was just being ironic. By the way, it's an onion. Just say it.
Anyways, enough of these vegetables. Let's do the lettuce leaf instead.
Which
The guy
tavern
with the
should we
leaves.
go to first? Well, we need to go. I would suggest Esklindar.
Yeah, Esklindar is probably the most likely place. Also, I've never understood why the Happy Hall of Fortuitous Happenings has such a gloomy building.
You have been here before, then.
No, but I've heard the rumors. Like, it looks not very welcoming, but it's got this over-the-top super go happy name. That tends to be, what people talk about. Like, why? That doesn't make sense.
We could head to the Happy Hall.
It
See if they have some information.
Would I know that Timora is kind of quite a popular patron among adventurers?
I mean, I believe that's fairly common knowledge. Timora is, very favored among adventurers, gamblers, that sort of people. Anyone who wishes for their luck to turn, really.
Yeah. Okay. Timora would be a good choice good place to find any locations that might be of interest to adventurers. Possibly these standing stones you are looking for.
Yeah, it's also close to the Esklindars, which may also have maps of the area.
Yeah.
True,
I mean,
old
I
maps
think
would
this
go.
is... Since you couldn't find it last time you went through here, maybe it is a rather old, niche, kind of specific thing to find, so Esklindar is probably more likely.
Either way, let us try our hand at both these places.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are more inns in place, but at least that is a shop for maps and finding places.
Then we will head to Eskondar's first.
Yes, and also I hear the Happy House is allowing us to spend the night for free, more or less.
Yeah, they usually sponsor it, adventure parties. We'll allow people to stay for a couple nights.
The Inn of the Glowing Gem. What is known about that, since there is nothing in the handout?
The Inn of the Glowing Gem. It is a fairly run-of-the-mill inn, basically. It's more of a like a drinking spot in many ways. It has some rooms, but not many.
So nothing about being favored by those of magical affinity or anything because of the name?
Not particularly. Right. So, as you are crossing the this heavy bridge, heading towards the city gates, you notice that on the far side, right on either side of the bridge, right before the gate itself, there are these two large metal poles which have been erected, and you notice that there are bodies hanging from them. As you get closer, you can see that one of them has been beheaded, and a squid has been nailed to the neck of this person. The other one has the entirety of his jaw dislocated and hanging like completely open, with the tongue sticking out, and what seems to be a gold coin burned into the tongue itself.
That's
Drake just looks at this and goes, I'll have to remember that one.
Drake, as you look upon this site and you reach close enough, you notice that this gold coin on this person's tongue bears the emblem of a winged serpent.
Do I recognize the significance of this?
This is the emblem of the Zentarum.
Is it a women's? Oh yes, it is. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking. Is it a women's serpent? Oh yeah. Drake kind of eyes widen for a moment. He, I'm guessing. Well, what race is he?
He is a human male.
Okay, so no chance of me recognizing him. I will. Are there any guards around? Or anyone who could spot me, sort of in around?
There are guards at the tower, as well as like on the walls above the gate.
Okay, yeah, no way of that happening. All right, I'll make note of it, and just kind of don't outwardly show any. Aside from, remembering the technique, I don't show any outward fin to kind of give the gods reason to suspect me or anything.
I would like to try and remember whether I know what a squid head would mean.
I was about to ask the same thing. What kind of
history
criminal shaming that would be?
Wondering,
I mean, there's the potentially obvious thing, but at the same time, we are in a port city. It might have a more mariner's reason for it.
Given my
Not
travels.
the conclusion that I thought it.
Oh, hang on, squid.
Yeah.
squid.
Its head's been replaced with a squid.
No, I got the obvious one, but I'm thinking if it's something else.
He's Davy Jones now.
Can I roll history or something?
You can roll history if you'd like.
I don't think I'll roll in as well.
I'll roll for it as well.
Wow.
All right.
That is very average.
I seem to recall that squids live in the ocean. That's what I
Very
remember. They
Very
are
true.
definitely from the ocean.
Well, it actually strikes you as very strange because this is a city placed at the fork of rivers. There should
Freshwater
be no-
squid.
There should be no squids around here.
Well,
The
that's...
the rest of you, you can't surmise any lore or knowledge about this being a seaman's punishment or like a common punishment to sailors or anything like that for sure. It is very clearly a similar statement as the corpse beside this. Appears to be a warning of some kind, but to whom, that you cannot tell.
There's a
Wow,
guard
look
next to
at
it,
that
right?
weird one.
There's a guard next to it, right?
No,
On the
So
walls.
there's a guard next to the walls.
On the walls.
on the walls.
On the walls. So, excuse me, up there, you. And I want to wave my hands.
Ah, flashbacks.
Drake just slams his head. Oh.
Flashbacks to Quelena.
Oh, this is much worse.
This is a gnome. This is an actual gnome.
I know.
You see, after a moment, a guard pokes his head over the wall to look down at you. He actually leans over a little bit and places these gauntleted hands on the stone before him and starts slapping a little bit.
I
Yes.
am S.R. Werbottle, a bard, a traveler, a story writer. Now, I was wondering, what's with the squid on the person?
What squid?
I point at the person with that is hanging with the squid head.
Yeah,
That
what
man.
does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
I don't see no squid.
Then what is that? That thing that you have propped up right there?
He disappears for a moment, and you hear this very faint whispering from the from the other side of this large stone block. Then he leans back over and calls down, "Oh, that's decoration."
A rather macabre decoration, wouldn't you say?
I like your decoration.
Looks
Go
like a
on,
perfect
go on.
waste of perfectly good squid to me, but okay.
Come on, Mug, we need to go on.
What bug?
He was gonna
yeah,
Drake
point
just
me.
points to the little fin traveling behind Cesar.
Then there's a tiny walking mug.
Why are you even surprised at this point?
Why would you have it walking behind you when you could carry it?
Why would I carry it? It's
Because you're riding, you don't need to. Your dog is leading the way, you don't need to do anything.
Well, I don't want to touch it. Mug, climb on.
Did you fill out the paperwork for that bug?
No, it's okay. He goes by itself. He has his own.
I'll have to report this, you know.
Good luck with that.
Let's see. Unlicensed use of animated objects.
Well, it's actually not needing a license if you go to form number 74432. According to
Oh, yeah?
out of Gnomish
You-
cities.
You're probably right.
Trick just shakes his head. Can we
The mu-
please get on with our day?
And you will see the mug climbing on the mastiff, and then kind of I will say it just to kind of sit there holding the mastiff. You will see kind of a mug sitting there with both hands holding the mastiff.
Yeah, but before we go in though, what's with the other guy with the coin on his thing? Is it like, was he bribed or something? Is bribery an offense?
I think so.
Do I recognize the coin?
You can roll a history check.
I'll be right back.
I mean, what is clear about the coin is that it is a it is a fairly strange-looking gold coin. It doesn't bear the symbols of any town that you know. The winged serpent or viper is well, it stands out for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a gold coin with a creature that many consider to be of split tongue, and it is on his tongue, so my character's assumption is going to be based on that. Seeing as how my history check is shit.
Sure.
And my character is actually thinking that it's just bribery, according to the coin.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, I mean, I'm not even. My
He
character's
took a
not even
bribe
trying to
and
remember.
was...
I'm just getting. I'm in the living room.
What?
Okay.
No, she's not in
I'm
the
not
living
playing
room.
anymore.
That's good.
Getting night on.
1990.
See, I'm not wearing video covers.
Sep, you should probably be standing by on the pause stream button, just in case you didn't have her under control. But at least she's no longer afraid, so that's good.
Yep.
On the plus side.
She ain't scared no more.
She ain't scared of sitting in the living room watching her cartoons.
Watching the pumpkins.
Cartoons.
Oh, cartoons. Okay. Oh, you said pumpkins.
Watching her pumpkins. Why would she have pumpkins to watch? But anyways. Is this a musical chairs every time someone else leaves?
Yes.
Who's next?
I'm just waiting for my turn. So, do you?
Yeah, no, a certain someone just came in the door, stuck a pizza in the oven, and told me, "Hey, watch that."
Great.
Did he say, hey, watch that because he wasn't sure you know what a pizza is? Or did he say, hey, watch that because he wanted you to eat it?
Because he went to take a shower.
Oh.
Makes more sense.
So, while the mug is sitting on top of Tiny, like drawing on like the filthy one side of it, I am not a dwarf.
Who's writing that? It's in complete control. I'm in complete control of that mug. Just to be
Don't
clear.
worry about it. It's just a joke. It's just an inside joke. You you carry on into the city itself. Or do you wish to poke at these corpses?
We need a guard here to make him fall into the water if we want to repeat what we did last time with bridges and stuff and guards.
Hey, I'm just surprised we've not come across any high guards yet, okay?
High guards. Hello, guards. Heighty guards. Am I the only one that is watching? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Apparently.
Is there really a point in moving everyone individually unless we actually split up?
Alright.
There's a lot of tokens, so if everyone's going
Yeah.
to be cramming into the same spot without any reason, there's no point.
So,
It's largely up to you guys.
Might as well move on Mars unless we're splitting up. Makes more sense.
Which is
I
quite
believe we're
Where are we
heading
going?
there.
Yep, we're heading to number 3.
What's number 3?
The Elskinars.
Oh.
What the map
Actually, I will
place?
join you. Yes.
Actually, here's a key point that maybe I don't think has been really
no, that's a
enforced.
monk
Really,
feature.
should we be peace bonding our weapons?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we haven't actually done that since Coneyberry.
we haven't had a need to.
Given
Would
this
you
is a
like to
bigger
peace bond your
town.
weapons?
Is there anyone actually doing it?
I'm not with my weapon out.
It's not relevant for me either, but
It's a case of tying the hilt to the scabbard.
Hmm.
I'm putting my weapon away once we're in the city.
I mean, there's nobody here to inform us of the rules, so we will have to, when in Rome, do like they do, and just look around and see if other people are peace bonding their weapons.
I'll keep an eye out for that, actually, since I brought it up anyway.
You'd think that if people notice they have to, they would be stopping, if not in the gates themselves, then just shortly in after the gates.
Yeah.
And people are wandering around and stuff like that.
Yeah. Home, you for sure know from your travels that this is a place where you should peace bond your
Peace bond.
weapon.
So as we get closer over the bridge, closer to the gate at that side, I'll make the motion to peace bond Merthiviel and de-string Earthens.
Do you even have enough rope to peace bond all your weapons at this point?
All my weapons?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you do have a
still
lot
have
of
rope.
weapons.
It's 50-50.
I only have-
I bet he can.
Technically, I only have 2 weapons. I can't exactly peace bond the bow.
Well, you could add like a nice bow tie to each side.
What you could do is split the bow apart and then peace bond the blades.
I don't have a
Right.
scabbard for those blades, though. It's literally just a case of de-string the bow.
It is also common in peace bonding.
Just
There
add
is
to
no
the-
such-
It should be on the handout for it.
Yeah, I was reading it. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Setting? It's in the setting handout, isn't it?
Yes,
No.
so.
But yeah, for
Where is it?
casters, it is customary to wrap a leather strap around the middle and ring fingers of each hand as well.
So,
So always
Do
involves must
we
be
have
covered.
that spare? I'm guessing there's a vendor right inside, just peace bonding equipment, special prices.
Not quite a vendor, but there are like artisans around who do make that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but that would be the optimal place to be, in the gate or at the gate.
Yeah.
So there has to be
There's-
someone or entrepreneurs individual.
When Drake sees home peace bonding his weapon, Drake will just go, I see it has made it all over here from Cormier then. Such a stupid practice. And then Drake will reluctantly take out his rope to peace bond his sword.
do I overhear Drake?
Well, how loud are you muttering this?
If Helm's right next to me, probably loud enough he could hear me, but if he's not, then even probably just hear me mutter. That's about it. It depends if he has ears like a hawk. Or bat. Bat would be a better example, yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Is
So
there?
there is a small like general store operating fairly close to the gate, like around here in these buildings.
Mm,
It's like a very small corner store, but you do take note that they have peace bonding string and straps
And bags?
on on sale. Yeah.
I would like them to find some alley that is, I mean, not either not currently with any people or that no one is looking at it currently.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to change my clothes into a costume of a child.
Okay. Sure.
That is one ugly child you got there, man.
It's a full costume, so.
But
Do I need to roll anything?
what is the costume?
No.
Is it just a diaper and a
A child, not a
bottle?
baby.
You never know.
Right.
You never know.
Toddler.
A mastiff pushing one of those like strollers.
I mean, you are a gnome. I wouldn't put it past you.
No, it's a child. So basically, it's probably some cover to the face that would be fitting, and clothes that seem childish to cover his gnomish body.
Sure.
Um,
Colorful cap with a propeller.
Yeah, something like that. No propeller probably, but colorful cap probably.
Okay. Does Silic have anything peace bonds?
His
And I will not
gauntlet, I
respond my
suppose.
fingers. And after that, I will not respond my fingers or anything. I will just be a kid. So.
Sure.
Oh, look at Mr. Crime Man over here. Not peace bonding and using disguise to avoid the law? Wow.
I'm not actually avoiding the law. I'm just avoiding needing to tie things on my fingers.
I am
Which is avoiding the law. Medrash will go into the store and see what he can procure.
Yeah. So peace bonding equipment is not very expensive at all. You can gather enough like bags, strings, leather straps, that sort of stuff.
I would
For the
remember
entire-
purchasing
for the entire party for just 2 silver.
Seeing as how I'm the one that has like need equipment for at least 5 people, I'll just pay for everyone for that. Because I need 4 straps for weapons and 4 for crossbow bolts. And for my own weapon casting finger.
Mm-hmm.
and one for Methuselah. Not
So
Methuselah.
Madrash
Deal breaker.
goes in and pays the full 2 silver to get enough for.
The only thing I need is a case to go over the top of my quiver.
Yeah.
Now I'll place it on my sword and dagger that I would have
Da-
out. Everything else would be in my pack.
Daggers do not need to be peace bonded.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
Uh,
But my holy symbol on my shield is already kind of wrapped up, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be. Because that's peace bonding.
That and it hides the fact that it's a Baydite shield, you know.
Details. So what's a Silic peace bond? Why? And do you only have your gauntlet?
Doesn't someone have a wand of magic missiles?
I don't think
I
I
have
have
a
a
wand.
wand. I have maybe a.
How do you peace bond a wand?
That's the weird thing here. Why would you... Peace bonding a wand is to have it tied in a belt pointing upwards. Why?
Just to make it more difficult to pull out and use in a pinch.
I have
but
Shadow
it's
Blade.
pointing upwards. It's already pointing the way you want it to be pointing when you get to that point. If you have to flip it and while you're pulling it out, that's when it becomes... unless you're thinking people use cross draw. That's the only time pointing it away from you is advantage.
This conversation could have been about so many things.
Hey, I've had to deal with cross drawing.
It's mostly to hamper this adventurer known as Jim Dark Magic.
Who? My turn, not either.
Oh no. You really need to. It's from Acquisitions Incorporated, the Penny Arcade guys.
Oh, I don't follow any of these streams or personalities.
Yeah, he has like holstered double wands on his belt.
Draw!
Exactly. Yep.
Both are wands and magic missiles. Dual wielded wands and magic missiles. Oh god, that would be the day.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that bothers me about that. Wands as a concept is not a pointing device, it's a activation device. You're still... It's still relying on you for the aiming part. It's not your physical aiming part.
They're magic missiles, they can't miss.
In that case, but a wand of fireball should still, if you hold it this way and pointing upwards, you're still the one casting technically the spell. It's just the medium, so it should go where you're instructing it for the activation. Not from a barrel perspective of a wand. That makes no sense in how wands should work.
You're thinking way too much into this.
No, because
You take the wand, you charge it, and then you shoot.
Have you looked at some of the wands in the book? You cannot point those things. They are impossible to point. And I have looked because I had to look for something to tell Theo that this might be fine for me to have one.
Well, I mean, you can hold it. It's just in an angle that is very strange to hold.
I mean,
that's
have you seen some of the staffs? I mean, they're just as bad.
Yes, because they're not pointing devices.
Have you seen the Cone of Cold staff advice? Staff of Frost.
I feel like we're getting way off track here.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Off on a tangent.
It's okay. I will accept the advantage I have of having the wand point upward.
So, as we cross the city, by the way, my character will be looking around at the state of...
Before we get that far, how many of us actually question his outfit? Because Madrash is certainly going to just look at you and your lack of peace bonding and go, "What are you doing?"
Just... we need rope.
Where's your peace bonding? I just bought the equipment.
It's well safe. Alright.
And why haven't you peace bonded your fingers?
They're fine. Don't worry about it.
I do, because your behavior is going to reflect on me, just as you were afraid of that with a certain other individual in the party.
Oh,
Drake narrows his eyes at this.
Do you know the penalties? Kids, yes. You do not look like a child. I'm sorry, but those wrinkles are not sun wrinkles a child would have.
It's covered.
Children are not courtesans. What the hell do you think you're thinking of here?
Don't worry about it.
Why would a child have a mask? Only bandits have masks, you fool!
Are you trying to look suspicious?
No. But I live
think
on the
you can
streets.
tell the difference between a gnome and a child and a human child.
I also
This is a
believe
good
that
way
there
to
is
protect
a...
against the cold.
You know, there is... Not far from here, down the coast, there is this little place called Spellhold where they might send people like you.
Sounds like a nice place. Anyways, can we continue?
Oh, I hear it's very nice. It's for the magically deviant.
Oh, just leave him. If he gets himself arrested, that's his problem.
Yeah, do you remember the penalty and costs for being caught without peace bonding?
If it's anything like 100 years ago, vaguely.
Well, as long as you fully accept the blame for yourself, I'll just be over here talking to the guard.
Drake. One less gnome to worry about. Drake just waves his hand as he follows Midrash.
I wish people understood the concept of guilty by association.
We travelled through here a couple weeks ago. Of course, we were just travelling through.
Oh, that's right. He has been here before.
Yeah, I remembered that. I did mention it because Drake wouldn't necessarily have cared.
Yeah, Asar, I'm going to have to not accompany you in this city based on any previous bad experiences you might have inflicted on these people.
Okay.
I don't want to be guilty by association.
We only stopped for about half a day, so...
Yeah. That's enough for him.
If memory serves, he was well behaved.
While I'm going through town, I'd like to keep an eye out for anything Zenti-like. just keeping an eye out in case I spot something
Define Zenti-like.
I don't know, just kind of markings which might lead you to a Zentarum underground base, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just pointing it out there because I figured that they'd have something that a fellow Zent could recognize that they could.
Yes, that's how the guy at the gate had been caught, probably.
If it's not feasible, it's fine. I'm just thinking about it.
You can keep your eye out for them.
Though, wouldn't your methods also be very out of date?
Point. But bear in mind, he hasn't really got anything else to go on. He hasn't exactly got an up-to-date code book or anything.
No, I'm more thinking that the newer things that people like that make up is because the older things are discovered and become telltale signs.
True.
So anything you will know, since it's not only out of date, it's also these are the things they know about and are looking for, not the new things that you wouldn't know about.
Would I recognize the coin thing as a symbol from way back when, or is that something that's recent?
The coin thing appears to be far more recent. You don't remember that kind of a thing being used. The emblem you definitely recognize.
Yeah.
Back in your day, you had like a secret handshake.
Yeah, you know, we didn't make it obvious.
Yeah. It took you like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Drake just kind of shakes his head at the symbol. Yes, let's just paint it on everything, why don't we? Ugh.
Home.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking that since you need to investigate some of the stones, I could investigate something else in the meantime. I'll be near the inn in about 2 hours.
Which one? There's like 7.
Yeah.
I would suggest the coin toss.
Alright.
I think the happy place. Since we were given free room and board, most likely.
Well, I mean, I'll meet you at the coin toss, and then from there we can go to the other place.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's an actual place called the coin toss.
And I will start heading off into the street.
Okay. We take the cart to Esclanar's.
Since it's on the way, but I should probably get my associates situated also. But it's right next to the Happy Hall. I don't want to be walking the streets with these guys.
Then we could stop at the Happy Hall and to Esclaners first. After. You know, stop our car.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense in having the doggos pulling them for no reason as well.
Yep. Rip internet.
We have lost a DM.
Quick! Split the party before he realizes.
Everyone, split to it everywhere.
Run away! Run away! Start burning down buildings! Fireball the streets!
Okay, calm down,
one
Satan.
will notice. No one will notice.
Use a pointed up magic missile launcher cause mad damage.
No one will notice if there's no one around to notice.
By the way, do you actually need to hold the wand in order to activate it?
I think you do.
Yes.
Or do you need just to touch it?
In physical contact.
So you don't really need to draw it.
Nope.
Point.
You could just touch it and do the activation.
And it's a one magic missile, so it's not going to hit whatever you're going to.
No, but
have
either
it
way, it's
go
just a it's like a scroll. You don't point the scroll towards wherever you are casting the spell, anyways.
Well, I mean, with a fireball scroll, wouldn't you technically be looking towards the enemy that you want to point it at?
Sure.
How are you going to read the scroll then? If you're covering up your target with the scroll.
Well, how do you cast a fireball scroll then? I mean,
you read
by doing what the spell does. You read out the tutorial and then you designate the range, distance, and time of detonation as per the spell description.
And then you hope for the best.
and hope to God they don't save.
That too, but also you hope that your group isn't hiding behind a corner in which they will get hit because fireballs ignore completely the corner thing, as Kesh has discovered.
Yeah, there was a time in the campaign where the second edition campaign where things were a bit more hardcore that I actually had to have an attack roll for the direction of the attack of fire.
You rolled a 1.
Oh dear.
So
God.
it's standing in a T intersection. I was going to shoot straight ahead, and the party ran to the side and behind the wall, and I shoot, and it goes straight to the side and explodes around.
You know, actually, I remember Baldur's Gate and stuff, and that did not have that problem. I don't think Fireball was a ranged spell in Baldur's Gate. I think they changed it to that.
They are.
It's a ranged spell, but it's not something you require an attack roll. I think it was still save. You just point,
they
click.
Used the second edition, they did use hit, probably.
Yeah, no, Baldur's Gate is AD and 3.5, isn't it? Based?
No, Baldur's Gate 2 and Throne of Ball is 3.0. Second edition is the original Baldur's Gate, and I think Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
I think with by Baldur's Gate 2, they kind of did a kind of cross between second and third. It was kind of like 2.5.
This also simplified it because in the game, it was still a pretty hardcore thing in the game to, first of all, you needed to know what the actual range of casting was, so your character would automatically advance until he was in range.
True.
You needed to know, like, how big on the screen is this explosion and what angle and stuff like that, so there already was that kind of element in it.
Yeah, true. And if you set it to second edition rules, it does actually use second edition rules, so...
Well, they might have ignored the hit roll for the fireball just because of mechanics.
Yeah, because you literally click in where you're going to cast that fireball. So
don't worry about the fireballs.
That's an interesting spot to come back in.
We're discussing what happens when you cast the fireball spell in Baldur's Gate and stuff.
No. we were discussing fireballs as a general rule. How it applies to buildings, that's the question.
And also how second edition has a hit roll for it.
Which it doesn't in any other edition. Not that I know of, anyway.
First edition.
Well, yeah, aside from anything that came before second. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 2 was kind of 2.5 if you think about it, because they were throwing in third edition rules and two second edition rules.
Actually, there is 2.5.
And they also skipped out on a lot of things. Such as, archmages and how they have signature spells, and also it's important to develop a signature spell and twist, but there wasn't room in the system to modify the spells.
One thing I don't get, right? Why is it that paladins could only be humans, and this at least until 3.5? I never got that rule. It was like, why wouldn't you have paladins to other gods?
Racism.
Yeah, true.
So,
holy breath.
I'll continue.
I think it has to do with the settings that they developed it on. Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
Stop disconnecting, by the way.
Yeah, it's so rude of you.
Yeah.
I know, right? I mean, jeez. So unprofessional.
Yeah, well.
He said.
Blame Telia.
I want pizza.
So, where were we?
We were heading to Escavarias, the map place. I don't know where Tom's heading off. I know Tom's going his separate way. I couldn't pronounce the word.
Esclindar.
Esclindar.
Esclindar, sorry.
Esclindrar.
Esclindrar, lol.
Doesn't say shit.
No, it doesn't.
Ah.
It does actually say that.
No,
yeah,
it
I'm
says
just.
lol.
It's a capital in the first letter, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, would Drake and Silic actually have a reason to be following, or do they want to actually go off and see something else?
I'll follow. Honestly, this like Tio and everyone pointed out really is it's 100 years out of date. How the heck am I going to know where to find Zentarum? So Luskin, it's a bit easier than here in Liata, where they're going to be a bit more underground.
Well, there is, if you look at number 18 in the list over here.
I did think of that, but would Drake know about that?
Everything that's in the handout is public knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, everything in the handout is things that could be gleaned from either asking around or asking home.
I suppose, yeah.
And seeing as how they are most likely a form of, or involved with the criminal side of things, that's where you should begin your search if you want to get up to date or try to bump into them.
It's a good point.
Because it is clear by what's hanging at the gates that they do have a presence here.
But would they go
Also, you're
more
breathing
underground after one of their agents got discovered? Would they be a little more careful and go underground?
Can you move your mic?
Breathing into the mic. It's driving me nuts.
Sorry.
It's,
Thank you.
When one has a mustache, the air, when exhaled, will bounce off and into the microphone.
Don't worry, Alex tells me off for it as well.
It's unfortunately like the natural position.
Yeah.
Where it, yeah.
I gotta keep it above my nose at all times, generally.
Yeah, but there's no audible difference in having it where it's at right now. It's just the really annoying thing that's in your field of view like that.
You can just see it, and you're like...
The question then is, now that we've cleared up about Lucas, do you want to, or does Drake want to make an attempt while we're doing?
I'll probably make an attempt, but I want to find out where these standard stones are as well, so... Also, there may be something of interest in the Timora Hall of Inn.
The Happy Hall.
The Happy Hall, thank you.
Yep.
I kept using the word house for some reason because Happy House.
Welcome to the House of Fun.
Yep. We will go into Iskandar's.
I don't know if Silik's accompanying us, but
Silik's his own man. He's free to do as he pleases.
like push children into wells with all of black sludges.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one jumping into the well. He's the child in this scenario.
So.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Select their town well here.
You went into a slow robot and stopped, and then it caught up like boom.
Oh, yep. Yeah. And so much fun.
Why?
I don't know. Belia still hasn't updated any sort of like issue, so I don't know.
Hey Silik, are you staying there the entire time?
I follow Drake. Because Stockholm Syndrome.
Alright. Everyone is cramming into one place. So
No, I'm
Except
not.
SR.
We're going off.
Yeah, SR is going off on his own.
You are.
The wagon is left outside with the 4 guards.
Sure. So, the majority of the party is heading down like this main road through the town until you reach this central like market square, basically, which is filled with little tables and market stalls and little wagons and stuff like that. Most of them empty since you are arriving towards the evening. But there are still some stalls open selling some food, basically, at this point. And you see that some people are hobbling out of nearby inns and walking past these stalls, picking up this like very hastily prepared food, eating it along the way as they hobble towards another part of the town.
And what kind of attention are we gathering as we're walking or making our way with the wagon and stuff?
For the most part, people have a good stare at you as you are like approaching, and then give you a fairly wide berth. There's no outright necessarily interest or commotion around you, but people are definitely like giving you plenty of room.
Is it because does it seem to be out of just not wanting to be in the way, or is it actual like mild fear that like here comes trouble?
Well, I mean, you got 2 god drakes, a half dragon.
Exactly, and some very heavily armed people.
Yeah.
Even though they're peace bonded, which is why I'm wondering: is there an element of fear in that, or is it just let's give them good room because they are a big following?
Can Drake tell if they're afraid? Very afraid.
You can roll insight.
Alright. Insight. Average.
It kind of depends on the person you're passing by, really. Some of them seem more afraid than others. Most of them just give you like a respectful distance so you can pass by.
This is a nice change.
Hmm?
Only
What is
Slick
that,
hears
Drake?
that.
It is a nice change to actually go to a town and be respected for once. Unlike Mirabar and Drake Shudder's Lawn Saddle.
Hey, respect is earned.
Indeed.
Home
It is
just
not
nod.
given, nor is it commanded.
Home will just nod to some of the people passing by, the ones that are less fearful.
How far is it to this damn it, Escalanders?
Let's just stick with the cartography.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier.
How far along the main thoroughfare are we?
You're reaching the market. You're heading pretty much across.
Just on the other side of this market, Drake. Not too much.
Good.
And now our tokens are again cramming the same place.
Nobody was listening to conversation earlier about moving the tokens.
It's
Well,
not necessary.
I shall go ahead as an example.
So, as you enter the market, known as fish yard, you pass by the offices of the Lion Shield Trading Coster, which is a fairly well-known merchant house in this section. Home, you've definitely taken the odd job with their.
It's where I picked up most of my clientele.
A fair amount of it, actually.
Others have been at the bars and inns.
Yeah. I mean, they do have offices in Trebor and formerly Fandolin, and I mean they have been known to have opened an office as far south as Nightstone as well.
Hey, Dorm.
We may have raided that office in a previous campaign.
Well, not yet.
Now.
What?
Could you not have your little token there too? Or do you need to have your tiny servant on the map too? I'd like to see what the numbers are. Besides, you weren't going to number 3. You were going to...
I'm going to do some stuff on my own. So for now, I will put it outside.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So Silic is the group market.
Yep.
On... Jesus Christ, this connection is bad. On the north side of the market, you see the this grim fortress of stone, which Holm would know as the Happy Hall of Fortuitous Happenings, which is a temple dedicated to Timora. Otherwise, around the market, there's also an armorer, as well as a store for buying wines and water and ales of higher quality and import than probably most of the swill you get at the inns. And then there's, of course, the food stuff and the map shop as well.
Where's my Rash's token?
Put it up in the corner.
Okay.
As you are crossing the market and approach the.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, he's back.
Yep. I really love this. This taking me way back.
It's okay. At least we have some natural in-game sounds of the happy children's playing in the air.
In the fish market.
Probably someone gave them an eyeball.
Playing marbles with the eyeballs.
See, as soon as you bring any attention to it, it craps out again.
Oh, it's shy.
So, as you approach the Esclinderar's shop, you see a group of God fucking damn it!
A group of
four figures exiting the store right as you're approaching. They.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking connection. I can just see it from the corner of my eye blinking red. It is.
Time to check if anything's working in the background. Maybe a Windows 10 update or...
I've already checked. Everything is off.
Oh dear. Well, that's not good.
Maybe try changing the server to Western Europe.
That's even worse, but we can try. Because I don't think it's a
Discord issue.
Yeah, it's not a Discord issue.
It's your whole network going down.
Mm-hmm. And something is happening to my ISP, I suspect. There is still
Are you running your own router or ISP router?
It's my own router, but it's like from the ISP basically.
No, I meant as in, are there two? Is there
No,
the ISP one that is running in bridge mode?
No. No, it's just one that's connecting the entire... Well...
Torment is also
One's done
frozen
as
and
well.
fell out.
Lovely.
Welcome back, Torm. How was life on the other side?
So someone changed servers or something.
No? We're
Nope.
still on Central.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So
can still
Discord
see.
decided to just say goodbye.
Could be Discord, yeah. And your ISP.
Both
My
at the
ISP
same
is fine.
time.
My
That would be
internet
fun.
works fine.
Anyway, now that it's somewhat stable,
Maybe.
You jinxed it.
looking at my router expectantly. As you're approaching Esclinderar's shop, you see four figures exiting the shop. They are a half-orc, a human, an elf, as well as a tiefling. They appear to be quite well armed. The tiefling has their digits responded with a leather strap. The half-orc has his great axe piece bonded with a bag over the blade. And the the elf has the elf, strangely enough, has placed what is basically like two cushioned bags over her hands and tied them very tightly around.
That doesn't sound like it's inside regulation.
Drake will do a double take and he sees the tiefling because he's not then weren't a very common back when he was around. he just like, huh?
A demon.
Demon.
No. Are they wearing any kind of like? If they've formed a band and been at it for a while, they might have a squad or group insignia or something that identifies their band, or are they just completely? They could be any group of that just formed.
It could be any. They don't have any marking clearly on them. But they are speaking quite jovially to one another. Having this kind of bickering discussion about something as they walk off towards the temple.
Aw, they're not even paying us attention.
The small army in front of them.
They failed their spot check.
Now, as you get closer to one another and then pass each other, they appear to be bickering about the most useless things, like discussing how a 50-foot rope that has been cut, or where a foot of rope has been cut off to serve another purpose, how you can reattach the 1 foot of rope to the 49 feet of rope.
I have a feeling you're making a pointed reference here.
And they are completely oblivious to their surroundings, it seems.
How do you do, leader adventurers, or fellow adventurinos?
The bickering between three of them continues. The half-orc looks over to you and says, "Hi," and then continues walking.
Clearly they're all wrong. They should be using a mending spell to fix this rope back into its original form.
Greg just rubs his head with his free hand and just shakes it.
Right, Holm? This is precisely why that spell was created. To mend such an item.
Yeah, you'd be right.
I think you're reading too much into it.
No, it's a perfectly valid problem. I mean, on one hand, if you do it manually and put the rope back together, it might not have its structural integrity, but if you do use the spell, some might argue that you want to misuse it.
Can we let's just move on. Let's just move on, please.
I forget. I'm not along with academics anymore.
You
We
hear
can save this discussion for the dinner table.
You hear from behind you as the four adventurers reach the steps leading up into the temple. the tiefling just suddenly going, "No, absolutely not. Mending will not work in this situation."
I guess there's your answer, Midrash.
Wrong!
We are not getting into an argument about what to do with an extra foot of bloody rope.
Hey, they started it.
In the distance behind you, you can see that the tiefling has pulled out what seems to be a book and is shoving it into the faces of the other three. and pointing at like a single paragraph on the page.
Can we see the cover of the book?
Well, yes, considering that you're like at the right angle.
Does it read Wizarding for Dummies?
No, it's actually a very
Oh, don't tell me there's a very pointed and stylized V on it.
As in V for Vendetta?
V is in Volotharn Gedarn.
Oh dear God.
If anyone wants to be an authority on that subject, it's probably him.
Volo's Guide into How to Wizard.
No, it is actually a a brown book with these like brass latches on it, as well as these like small studded gems. Small studded gems along, like in like a kind of square around this central symbol of a circle, with a sword slicing through what seems to be a little book.
Okay. I'm not sure any book with such a front cover would be a credible source, but okay.
It's the 3rd edition Player's Handbook.
Oh no.
Oh.
I'm glad I've never seen that. Also, I fully expect the orc to settle this argument any second now. Something threatening to make that guy have his book shoved up that guy's ass.
You'd think so. However, you arrive by this point at your destination. Your navigator gives off a little ping.
You've arrived at your destination.
Which is actually just Holmes' sword hitting the side of the cart.
As it
Please
stops.
wait until the vehicle has fully stopped before disembarking.
Are you trying to become a weapon master, Holmes?
No.
Then why do you insist on carrying so many weapons?
I mean, why would you insist on calling him Master Holm? I mean, just because he wants to become a weapon doesn't...
You can't get disarmed when you have more weapon.
You can't get disarmed when you are a weapon.
Life lessons for Drake.
Drake just shakes his head.
Oh, I'm sorry, was that a touchy subject?
I'll touch your head in a minute.
Hey now, I haven't consented to that.
At least buy him dinner first.
Why bother? He'll just eat rat again.
When have we ever eaten... Oh, that time, yeah. Hey, it was very delicious, actually.
Reminds me of my early days in Samarak. I'd rather not remember that.
Oh, like eating scorpions and spiders is any better.
Scorpion is a delicacy. The trick with spiders is eating them before they eat you.
Isn't that the trick with any food?
You've never encountered a Chultan spider, I see.
No, but I do remember this one spider called Sarum.
Yeah. Someone was determined that we kill it. I'm just gonna look at Silic.
Hey, only Drow love spiders. That should be the default stance to go to.
You make a good point.
A spider
not
needs
so
to
sure
earn
about-
your trust before you are even considering not squishing it.
I'm fairly sure there's something I remember from my travels, but might have been something I read. Never mind. It's not important. Some kind of lady transforming into a spider. I don't know.
Stig, remain here with the others, but if someone asks what you're doing, just point towards the shop. Make no other actions. You Emidas. You be a good boy, you hear? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. We're gonna have to tow your cart. This is. You have double parked.
Didn't make no changes, and they start towing the cart, and they're just sitting there.
Yeah, pointing at the shop.
Oh, wait, does it matter where in the city? It's just somehow pointing at that exact spot the entire time.
Yeah.
Arm bending in a natural fashion. Like through the ribcage.
Going around a corner, you just hear.
Doesn't even turn.
Anyway.
This is why we spend so many sessions getting where you want.
Yeah. So, you arrive at the shop. You arrive just as this kind of middle-aged looking man walks up towards the store wearing this like very fine dark blue attire, kind of wearing kind of like a royal blue smoking jacket over top of everything else. He is just about to flip this sign that says "open" on the window of the door when he sees you like offloading from the cart and your horse.
And he dropped.
No, you drop.
We all drop.
Torm, you're the one being the problem.
This time it is you.
It is the second time it's you.
See, my problems got transferred over to you.
So, he wants to close up shop. We are the last minute people, so he's definitely giving us a stink eye.
He actually looks quite thrilled. He peers through his monocle at you and like takes the hand off the sign and even like opens the door for you. Ah, hello, customers. Come in, come
Yes,
in.
indeed.
How may I help you?
We're looking for some maps.
Perhaps some older maps.
Older maps. How old?
That is the issue. We're not sure.
And of what region?
Definitely this region, isn't that right, home?
Yartar and the surrounding area.
Have you heard any mention of some standing stones in a monumental design?
I would think there are several. However, I am not sure which one specifically you seek for. There must be some maps here. Although I suspect the Water Baron, the Water Baron's archives may have more of a structured list of such maps. Or I'm sure that we may find some here.
And also, while we're here, do you take an interest in acquiring new and recently made map?
Oh, of course.
I'm just gonna look at you, Madrash, and go, are you still trying to up that map?
Of course. I need to spread the information and awareness of this place. I can't do that like this.
Good point.
Of what place?
Do you know of the recently, in fact very recently, discovered tombs found under Baron's Hill?
What's this now? I've heard of an expedition, but I did not know that they had actually found something. They have tried.
Well, the dwarves. There was a dwarven expedition heading north that went for the ancestral home, but they did discover this on the way. But you know, dwarves being dwarves, they didn't really care. I, however, managed to make this almost fully complete map after we explored the majority of the area. It will be an excellent starting point for a fully mapped expedition if you would want it.
That is quite something.
And as you can see, these measurements are highly accurate, as if they were made by some kind of otherworldly automaton.
He kind of like quirks his eyebrow at you.
I'll take out the map and actually show it.
Sure. He leans very close and like fixes his monocle on his eye and
see like... the angles here? How right and square they are?
Well, there is absolutely no character to this map, but it certainly looks feasibly accurate.
And is a good basis for mounting a proper charting and mapping of it. Who knows what else one might find down there?
Indeed. What kind of a what kind of an offer are you expecting?
Your assistance to my friend here, perhaps going a bit further than common levels of service would offer. This place that he's looking for is proving rather difficult to find, and he does need all the help he can get.
Interesting. Very interesting. Tell you what. I shall have a rummage around in my stores. Especially the map section of my storage. I will even visit the Water Baron's residence for their archive. And come back, say, tomorrow evening?
That should be fine.
Oh, perhaps you should stay for a few moments and at least go into as great detail of what you can remember. Anything that might help him.
Yes, that would help narrow down the search.
Can I get the world map?
What seeketh you?
I am now trying to remember. If I was told the general direction from Yartar. No, I was only told near Yartar. Standing stone. Standing stone, it's plural.
Yes. What kind of standing stones are you looking for?
Are they square? Are they triangle?
I wasn't given a shape. I was only told standing stones near yard.
I mean, we know someone who might have a better idea.
A certain Silic and his playing cards.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about. Moon, tree, bridge, moon, tree, flying wyvern or winged wyvern, rat. I've gone wrong
Didn't
way.
you write this down?
I did, but I thought I was gonna remember it. Like, no, standing stones.
You thought wrong.
Thought I had it. I'm gonna read it. Circle of stones, large tree on a hill, full moon, winged viper, rat, bridge.
Those are certainly some very useful hints or clues.
Yeah. That was the wrong way around, though. We have to find that bridge.
To and from are merely different aspects of the destination. It is the journey that matters.
The grandfather tree. Didn't you talk about that last time? Like
No,
everything.
there's absolutely no need to go there.
I see. Hellgate Keep. There was something about that too.
What were the things set? What were the cards? Sorry.
Bridge, tree on a hill, large tree on a hill. Yeah. Oh, circle of stones, large tree on a hill. Let's take it the right way, actually. Bridge, rat, winged viper, full moon, large tree on a hill, circle of stones.
A circle of stones.
Yeah.
A circle of standing stones alone would be very useful to know of.
Any maps that may pertain to any of those locations. Circle
and
of stones.
if you do find yourself having some spare time to the task, a map over all known structures, ruined and inhabited, near or in the crags. Structures specifically. I care little about caves being inhabited.
Well, I know that there are no recent maps. There are composites of older regarding the crags. I may be able to find some of those.
Compiling it all into one source would be ideal. I will, of course, pay as a side note for that. The trade of the maps is for a different task after.
I shall see what I can find. He is also at the same time like pulling out this like little notebook and scribbling down
notes on what I need to be looking
himself. No, was there anything else? Could I interest you in some books?
Depends.
Do you have anything on magical theory?
Or on learning Draconic.
Oh yes, a a cipher in learning the draconic language, assisted probably by someone knowledge.
Ah, those kinds of things I certainly have. Draconic languages are found on the third shelf to your right.
Okay. I'll wait a moment and get Madrash to come with me to look at this. Get his assistants on picking for that.
It seemed like you wanted something.
So, on the shelf of Draconic languages, you may find a
Dummy's Guide to Draconic.
a Draconic fate.
You're
Oh
back.
shit! There he goes.
No, you're back.
Okay.
There was only a tiny itch.
Sure. You can find a like a Draconic phrasebook. Basics of Draconic for dummies, as well as the advanced cipher of Draconic dialects as pertaining to different colors of dragons by a certain Ringleton Harry House.
Oh, we only went for the short form.
Ringleton Harry House. Is that actually his surname, Harry House?
Oh, he had a few.
Small portion of it.
Yeah,
it's like 1/10 of his name.
So, see, it's very clearly a gnomish name. There are Bringleton in bold big letters, then there's Harry House in bold big letters, and then there's in very tiny print, like about 20 names between those two.
Fair enough. Gnomish names, man.
As I said, about 1/10 of his name. I'll pick up all three.
Master Crumplebottom, Ludomarius, Bridger, Panzer, Greg, Northampton, Stoat, Wheathaven, Soccer Practice, Hackerman, Anderson, Juxtapositor, Gear Lever, Harbinger, Atlius, Harryhound. I still have a note.
Yes, you do. But that's not the name of this guy.
Is his uncle?
Probably actually grandfather? Great-grandfather?
Oh, gnomes.
Gnomes are long lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This
Very
isn't
long-lived.
necessarily a recent book.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep, I'll pick up all three.
Sure.
And show the titles to Madrash and go,
The
which one?
Draconic for dummies will cost you.
Is it like those penguin books? There's like a bar on the back and the price in the barcode.
Facebook and the Draconic ciphers.
I'm going to grab something to drink before I fall asleep.
Yep.
Splash some cold water on your face. An Israeli man was found late this morning, having drowned in the sink.
Boop, 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 boop.
There you go. There's your prices. The Draconic ciphers, as it pertains to the color of dragon, is actually half off.
That's half off? Jeez.
But that's something that is advanced beyond what I would have learned myself, right? So it has value for me as a already speaker of the language.
Yeah. It's basically like a deep dive into the study of linguistics.
Yeah, I'm not sure Holm would find that interesting, but Madrash will take the two, the Draconic for Dummies and the phrasebook, and like, yeah, these two should be suitable for you. I'll be enjoying myself with this one, and if you show an interest for it, I'll share what I learned from it. We can study it together.
Sounds like a plan.
You flip through the phrasebook like randomly, and you notice one striking sentence there is my hovercraft is full of eels.
My hovercraft is full. Oh wow.
Oh, I hope you know that reference.
I plead the fifth.
You cannot be British and not know your Monty Python.
I haven't actually watched any Monty Python films.
I believe Third World War just started. Civil
Which
War
is probably why he didn't get the reference of the guard at the.
And this is why he was not impressed when someone was beating off all those attackers.
I just never got around to it.
I thought you guys were born with that book in your hand, or the material.
Not us Welshmen.
Oh, right. You're too busy with the sheep.
Sheep, cows, you name it.
Animal studies is a very intense study. I should know. I'm studying it right now.
Indeed. But yeah, no, I honestly never watched any of the Monty Python films. Hence my lack of knowledge on stuff like that.
We're going to need to restrain him if he ever sees a bloody hare.
So, are you buying the books?
Yes.
Alright.
I shall deduct the cost for the most expensive one.
Minus. So. I'm just made it for 50. Oh, 500. And I will also give Madrash 50 gold towards the Draconic Cycles one as well.
Well, if you insist.
Since if I show some interest, I'll borrow the copy of some time.
It's really quite fascinating. Did you know that the... Well, let's not take that here.
We can discuss that later.
And I will show you that mending does work.
On a rope.
On a rope.
Actually, Drake would actually be looking for a book based on events from 11 years ago now, I suppose. Yeah, 11 years ago, with the gods walking among everyone and stuff.
Be right back.
Ah.
Now that should be an easy or a wide topic.
So you are directed towards the back corner of the store, and you find there this entire wall of books, as well as two like separate bookshelves, also completely filled with books on this subject.
Is there one that's kind of general history and maybe something a bit more specific around Bane?
Sure, it's about 2 feet thick.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you find one of those. It's about 2 feet thick.
To basically some nighttime reading, some light reading, then, you know. When we talk 2 feet thick, are we talking like a good 1,000 over pages, or a lot bigger than that?
Like 2 copies of Silmarillion.
How big is Silmarillion? I've only ever read the original trilogy and Hobbit, and even then I couldn't really get through the first Hobbit, Lord of the Rings book.
Well, if I remember right, it has been quite a few years, but the Silmarillion is about the same thickness as the trilogy put together, or bound into one book.
So I guess about around 1,500 pages then, give or take.
But that also depends on the font size.
And the binding.
Yes.
And type of book, because, you know, hardcovers and whatnot.
Yes.
Either way, Drake will look at it, shrug, and then take it. How much? As he plops it down in front of the car.
You hear a creak from underneath the table as you just like slam it down. And he kind of like looks at you, fixes his monocle, and then kind of just like pats at the cover of the book where you see a price listed as 100 gold.
Drake just looks at it. Anything a bit cheaper, which could give me a bit more of a general knowledge of that type.
Can you repeat that, please?
Sorry. Anything a bit cheaper, which could be with a bit more of a general knowledge of that time.
He scratches his chin for a moment. And yeah, he scratches his chin for a moment, thinks on his selection, and then starts nodding. Yes. I have something. If it arrived, but it is only 60 gold. It is called the Skim of the Time of Troubles by a certain Wolotam Gidarm.
Drake just blinks as he looks at the big giant tome and then thinks of, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I am not interested," and then just leaves.
You see him like pick up this huge tome and throws his back, it seems, as he like picks it up and then starts like waddling back towards the back of the store so he can put it back on the shelf.
You know, Drake, the courtesy, you could at least do the courtesy of putting the book back.
Drake just shrugs.
Youngsters these days.
considering this only happened 11 years ago, I'm surprised how much that cost.
Well, it is a rather amazing event to have not just one deity, but many avatars of deities walking the lands, causing havoc. You can imagine that certainly gets people talking and interested.
Inflation. Books did not cost that much back in my time.
Supply and demand, my friend. Supply and demand.
To be fair, back in your time, books were written on stone, right?
Oh!
Drake just gives home a glare. There wasn't that much difference, believe me.
Which is ironic considering the tablets of faith were stone.
Yes, I heard of those.
No, you're not getting any.
Drake just arches an eyebrow. Were they destroyed or some such?
No, as far as I'm aware, doesn't really matter either way because they're selling souvenirs probably right down the street.
Aren't those just soup recipes?
I mean, nobody actually saw them, so nobody can really know what to sell, so they're just selling whatever they feel like. I mean, I saw one guy just took a rock from the street and started chipping away at it, seeming like he was intent on selling. Anyways, I do believe we have a place to arrange living space in.
Yeah.
Do we want to check out the Happy Hall?
We'll be heading to the Happy Hall.
They are offering free room and board for up to 9 days, as far as I recall. For adventurers, that is. Which means they're probably used to our kind, and the trouble we can bring.
Trouble? I do not know what you mean.
Oh, certainly not. But how often would you find an inn that has a armor stand for you to unload your armor on, for example?
In your room.
In your room. The majority of rooms in a floor, probably.
I believe there was one time in East Haven. Back in Icewood Dale, but that was a bit out of the norm.
Yeah, which is why this place is probably pretty good. And you need to accommodate all kinds, from the big meathead to the guy that sits down and actually reads. Very pointed look at him.
I enjoy a good read just as much. I would have bought the book if it was a little cheaper.
Oh, I'm sorry they don't have books bound in human leather in it.
Just gives him a look.
Maybe you just didn't search for the right shelves.
Anyway, let's go offload some of our gear we need to be carrying on us.
Yes. I'd love to walk around the city a bit with Emidus.
Yes,
I'll be heading to
around the city with a guard drake is always a clever idea.
Well, he needs his walk. He gets restless if he doesn't get his walks.
Might be an idea to take him outside the city.
You're welcome to join me, Madrash.
Sure.
I'll be heading over to the coin docks to meet up with SR.
No, I'll politely decline.
So what's the plan? We're heading to the happy hour and then heading to respective inns depending on where we want to go, like you with the coin toss and things like that.
My character is going to stay at the Happy Hall, so I mean it is an inn technically. Also,
yep.
Free room and board.
Okay. Once everyone kind of goes their own way, then Drake will make his way to the wink and shake.
What?
I'm not looking at the document right now, so I couldn't remember the exact name. It's the wink and
The wink and smile.
the wink and smile. That's it. Yeah.
Can you guess why they called it that for a criminal establishment?
Oh yeah, I completely got the reference. I just couldn't remember if it was wink and shake or wink and smile.
Why would a criminal wink and shake?
No, that's the strip bar next door.
Oh!
You're both wrong. It's the wink and kiss.
I know.
I thought it was the brothel in the back.
I wonder if Bedrash ever had cause to visit the Moonstone Mask.
So while the rest of you are heading the long distance of heading to the
building right next to it.
Yes. Heading like, what is that? 100 feet? SR, what have you been doing in the city?
Well, let's have some fun, shall we?
Oh god.
Oh dear god.
I'll go get a beer.
This is going to be campaigning and stuff, just watch.
Well, probably considering that I can probably only hear like half of what Torm says.
I'll be right back again.
Let me know if you don't hear, and then I will repeat myself. So SR will start traveling the city, just kind of walking and looking around, not really doing anything at the first time. Looking basically at people, their living condition, and people on the street, how they live. I mean, if there are a lot of urchins and such.
Sure.
And they will keep the mug kind of walking as though randomly, and as though he's curious about following the mug, and not so much about the mug following it.
Alright. Roll a perception check.
Okay. I'm closing my eyes while I walk.
Alright, so Yartar is a Yartar is actually a fairly well tended to city. There are some like homeless people, urchins, but not all that many by what you. The living conditions themselves vary. around the middle and towards the gate where you entered, the living conditions actually really good, it seems. Then as you get further towards the east, you can find like the more slummy area, basically, with ruined buildings and hovels and that sort of stuff. But overall, it's actually doing probably better than most towns of this size.
Just checking something. How much is the average pay of a person in these times? Per month, I mean.
Per month?
Yeah.
You mean low tier
Yeah.
craftsmanship or farmers? Or...
Farmers, low tier craftsmanship. I mean, the low pay kind of, but those that can actually, you know, afford themselves to rent a place to stay.
Monthly income would be probably a for like low income, it would probably be at most a silver a month. For artisans, craftsmen, like the middle class kind of bourgeoisie,
I will just search the. I mean, I just want to know the lowest class kind of thing.
Sure.
And I will kind of at first kind of, you know, roam around and kind of look around. And as I kind of get the drift of it, I will tell mentally to my mug to go aside to some alleyway, and kind of I will join it from the other side as though randomly joining in. I will take 9 silver coins and put it in the mug, and tell him to go to 9 different such families that I could see, and just hand 1 silver coin to each.
Sure.
And I will just kind of, as though continuing to follow along with the mug, kind of as though curious about this mug going around, trying to kind of figure out what it's doing, just to be at 120 feet away from the mug so it can keep in control. I will keep control of it.
Sure. Yeah. The mug elicits fairly strange reactions. Couple of the first places act as if this isn't probably the first time they've seen something completely ridiculous handing out money. Or like walking around giving something to people. The third house, the mug.
I do want to specify I'm giving it to those that live on the street, not to those that have their place. Yeah. Okay.
But like.
Yeah, I got what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
The third, the mug walks up, and you hear from this, like around the corner from this alleyway, this kind of shouting. Edith, you're not gonna believe what this mug just gave me.
I'm going to, you know, as it starts walking away, kind of keep listening to what he's going to shout to his wife as I kind of go after the mug. Just for curiosity's sake, as a gnome.
Yeah. You manage a peek around the corner, and you see that there is this like very frail looking man holding this coin in hand and shouting down the alleyway to what seems to be a very scraggly looking dog.
Yeah. Afterwards, it will keep kind of giving the 9 coins that I gave it. Do any of them see? I mean, are there any families as such that seem that they might be dying of hunger or such that I might have missed?
Not from what you can see, at least. Seems like the worst, the people in the worst situation are cared for, at least to the degree that they are not starving out in the streets.
I will go off to an alleyway again and take out a scroll, and then I will write on it with this money, please take care of those in need of food.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take out a gold coin and put it, kind of wrap the paper around it. And then I will search for a bakery or something that sells food. Not
Yeah.
expensive food, kind of the very bare necessities kind of things.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
go to that place, and then kind of I will use my performance to kind of act like a kid and not actually speak, just kind of look kind of shy as I kind of hand the scroll with the 1 gold coin in it.
Sure. So you come up to this like very small local bakery. You walk down this like fairly narrow alleyway. You see this like back door opening as this baker comes out with this bag of trash
Mhm.
and like dumps it onto the ground beside the door. And you walk up and hand over in the paper.
How does he seem to react?
He looks very confused and like
I will wait until I can see that he's actually reading it before I actually go away. I will
Sure.
kind of, kind of point at the note, kind of as though I don't know how to speak correctly, and I will just kind of.
yeah, his first reaction is to back away slightly and reach for something right like inside, right
Mhm.
beside the back door.
I will
And-
quickly kind of lift my hand as though I didn't do nothing. I don't have any weapon or anything to to threaten him.
Then he actually like opens up the note and reads it, and he looks back towards you and then like just kind of sighs and goes, "Darn it. Another opportunity wasted to sweep away some kids." And he walks back inside with the coin in hand and just takes this broom from right beside the door and like hugs it a little bit before
Mhm.
putting it back.
I will kind of give a smile as I kind of wave my way out and go away. And then I will search for one more such place.
Sure.
And do the same trick.
Yeah.
I mean, I will search. The second place should be a place that also gives like water or something like that. That could anyone that doesn't have a way to gather their drink or something like that. And at that point, I will actually say, give to those that cannot get to anything. I mean, the old one and such.
Sure.
And then I will just slowly make my way back to the coin toss, though I will take a very winding road, as though I don't know my way to where I'm going. Just so anyone who might be following will just think that I'm a kid going around the neighborhood.
Right.
And I will always take care that my mug will just kind of, follow at a alternative route, as though by random we are actually going to the same way. All right. Or did I cut off? If I did cut off,
No,
let
not too
me know
badly.
where. Okay.
It's just reading through the list of places to see if you have picked up on anything while you were roaming around.
Want me to roll another time for the way back?
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Yeah. Because I'm keeping my perception
See
around.
if it's any better. Well,
closing my eyes as I walk.
Focusing too much on your little friend and too little on the surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm just closing my eyes as I walk. Ignore the surroundings. Ignore the surroundings.
Letting the mug guide you.
Yeah.
Chris
Eventually, I will probably, I will probably be joining home.
Chris,
as,
a very bad idea.
What? Sorry.
From what I've watched of that series, that is a bad idea.
Yeah, and Chris can tell you that following Mug is a very bad idea.
So
And letting Mug follow you is also bad.
I will eventually join home at the place, and as I will see him, I will kind of walk up to him as though I'm an actual kid and kind of look at him and ask, "Are we going to the inn?"
I just wanted to stop in and check on some old associates.
Alright, I will follow you.
I'll just go into the inn.
The mug will probably be roaming around the outside, kind of as though walking around, maybe gathering some scrap, putting it back on the floor, stuff like that. I will ask you to arrange the scrap in the corner. Mentally, so you will just see the mug kind of gathering something, putting it aside, kind of thing.
There's this small pile of like lint and like buttons and little pieces of string.
The buttons will be separate for someone that will come in the future that will gather it.
Now we know how Quelena got started with the button collection.
Coming to here, and then just wait. Why is there a connection here? Okay.
It's mine now.
This seems like a sign.
This is madness.
Madness.
All right. Well, now you may place yourselves on the map as well.
I'm with home
where,
at this point.
Yeah. Where you would be.
So where is Silic? Still standing in the market, apparently.
Like a lost child.
Are you following?
You cut out.
Just keep sticking to Drake.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just asking if you were sticking to Drake. All right. Sticking to Drake like a booger.
You mean like a rash that keeps persisting?
Sticks to Drake like flies follow shit.
Great. So
isn't that what the cowboy saying is?
So this is probably a good place to stop for the night.
Okay.
Yeah, with the internet connection and stuff,
Hopefully it will have cleared up. The
next
ISP
session.
still hasn't said anything about there being a problem here, so good job, Delia. Anyhow, yeah, we're gonna pick up on this.
Yep.
I think maybe everyone's a little out of it as well today.
Yeah.
I was just tired, but I'm okay. I took my time to wake up.
Yeah, I know I'm a little out of it. I had to drop petrol off into work and then come back, get ready for work, and then go back to work myself. So
Hey, opposite. Wanna fly around some Apex Legends then?
I can do a round or two, yeah.
Any other takers?
What?
Apex Legends?
Not tonight. I need to wake up tomorrow early.
What legend?
Apex.
Legend. It's a
Oh,
game.
I don't
It's a
have
nice
it.
game.
It's free.
No.
But I would rather not download Origin Launcher.
It's not
yeah.
dependent on Origin. Also, pretty sure you get it on Steam because I have the option of linking my Steam account.
You can get it on Steam.
You have
I
to
don't
say
think
goodbye
it's
to the
Origin.
stream.
I for sure
Night
have
all.
the option
Bye
of
to the
combining my
stream.
Steam. Bye, stream.
You told me to say goodbye to the stream. Why are you shaking your head?
But for me, yeah.